Did you know that in colonial America you could be thrown into the stocks just for wearing the wrong clothes? But that's just the beginning. From bizarre laws to forgotten inventions, early America was full of surprises. Stick around as we count down 20 hidden secrets of colonial America you never knew. Number 20. The Blue Laws. Colonial America had strict moral codes called Blue Laws that regulated almost every aspect of daily life. Dancing? Banned. Playing games? Illegal. Even celebrating Christmas was off-limits in some Puritan communities. Skipping church? That could land you in the stocks or cost you a hefty fine. Some colonies even outlawed baking on Sundays because it was considered a distraction from worship. While most of these laws faded over time, echoes of them still influence modern laws in some parts of the U.S. Number 19. The Mystery of Roanoke. One of America's oldest unsolved mysteries is the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. In 1587, over 100 settlers vanished without a trace, leaving behind only one cryptic clue, the word Croatoan carved into a tree. Were they wiped out by disease? Did they join Native American tribes? Or was something far more mysterious at play? Despite centuries of investigation, Roanoke remains one of history's greatest enigmas. Number 18. Wigs were more than a fashion statement. In colonial times, powdered wigs weren't just a style trend, they were a practical solution to a common problem: head lice. Many colonists shaved their heads and wore wigs made of horse or goat hair, treated with powders and perfumes to mask odors. But some were so elaborate that they became fire hazards near candles. While the trend died out after the Revolution, wigs left a lasting mark on history. Number 17. The witch trials went beyond Salem. Think Salem was the only place with witch trials. Think again. Accusations of witchcraft spread across multiple colonies between the 1600s and 1700s. In Connecticut, the first known witch execution happened decades before Salem. Suspects were even subjected to swimming tests. If they floated, they were guilty. Though the hysteria eventually died down, the paranoia ruined countless lives. Number 16. Tobacco was currency. Forget gold. Early colonists used tobacco as money. In Virginia, it was the primary form of payment, used for buying goods, services, and even paying taxes. Farmers were required to grow a certain amount to stabilize the economy. Tobacco warehouses functioned like banks, storing dried leaves as currency. But this system also deepened reliance on enslaved labor, shaping the colony's future. Number 15. Strange colonial punishments. Colonial justice was harsh and humiliating. Public shaming was common, with criminals locked in stocks for hours while townspeople jeered. More extreme punishments included branding, whipping, and even ducking gossipy women by repeatedly dunking them in rivers. These punishments were meant to deter crime, but they often turned into brutal public entertainment. Number 14. The secret role of pirates. Pirates weren't always enemies of early America. Many colonies secretly benefited from them. Places like Rhode Island and the Carolinas thrived on buying stolen goods at bargain prices. Some colonial governors even took bribes to protect famous pirates like Blackbeard. Eventually, the British cracked down, but for a while, piracy fueled the colonial economy. Number 13. Beer was safer than water. Clean water was hard to find, so colonists often drank beer, cider, or watered-down rum, even kids. Small beer, a weak alcoholic drink, was considered safer than untreated water. Taverns weren't just for drinking. They were social hubs where news spread and political ideas brewed, setting the stage for the American Revolution. Number 12. Women had more legal rights than you'd think. While colonial women had fewer rights than men, they weren't entirely powerless. In some colonies, women could own land, run businesses, and even represent themselves in court. Widows had the most independence, often inheriting property and taking over businesses. But despite these freedoms, most laws still favored men, keeping women in traditional roles. Number 11. The postal system was full of spies. Mail delivery in colonial America was slow, unreliable, and dangerous. British officials intercepted letters to look for signs of rebellion, while revolutionaries used secret codes and invisible ink to communicate. Benjamin Franklin, America's first postmaster general, revolutionized the postal system, making it faster and more secure, laying the foundation for today's U.S. Postal Service. Number 10. The truth about Paul Revere's ride. Paul Revere's midnight ride is legendary, but did you know he never finished it? Several writers, including William Dawes and Samuel Prescott, helped spread the alarm. Revere was actually captured before reaching his destination. It was Prescott who made it to Concord to warn of the British. Revere's name became famous, but history tells a much bigger story. Number 9. Colonial dentistry was a nightmare. Toothbrushes were rare, and colonists used rags, charcoal, or salt to clean their teeth. Sugar consumption led to widespread tooth decay, and the only cure was extraction, without pain relief. Wealthy colonists sometimes wore dentures made from human and animal teeth. Even George Washington's famous wooden teeth were actually made of ivory and human teeth. Number 8. The real first Thanksgiving wasn't in Plymouth. The famous 1621 feast in Plymouth wasn't actually the first Thanksgiving. Spanish settlers in Florida held a Thanksgiving meal with the Timucua tribe in 1565, over 50 years earlier. Virginia also had its own Thanksgiving traditions before the Pilgrims arrived. But it was the Plymouth feast that shaped the holiday we celebrate today. Number 7. The colonists' weird diet colonial cuisine included turtle soup, squirrel, eel, and even beaver tails. They also drank cock ale, a beer brewed with a boiled rooster. Without refrigeration, food had to be heavily salted, smoked, or buried underground to prevent spoilage. Food shortages were common, and starvation was a real threat in early settlements. Number 6. The colonies had their own secret societies. Secret groups like the Freemasons and the Sons of Liberty influenced colonial politics long before the Revolution. These underground organizations spread revolutionary ideas, staged protests, and even orchestrated resistance against British rule. Their impact was so powerful that British officials feared they were behind a full-scale conspiracy. Number 5. Slavery existed in all 13 colonies. While slavery is often associated with the South, it was present everywhere. Northern colonies like Massachusetts and New York had enslaved workers in homes, shipyards, and farms. Rhode Island was a major hub for the transatlantic slave trade. While some enslaved people in the North eventually earned freedom, slavery remained widespread until gradual abolition began. Number 4. The colonists had their own accent. Surprisingly, early colonists didn't sound British. Over time, British English evolved into the modern accent we recognize today, while American English retained many of its original pronunciations. If you traveled back to the 1700s, the colonists would sound more like modern Americans than Brits, except for their old-fashioned vocabulary. Number 3. Some colonists were legally required to grow. Hemp was so essential for making ropes, sails, and clothing that some farmers were legally required to grow it. Even George Washington and Thomas Jefferson cultivated hemp on their plantations. Though later controversial, hemp played a key role in early American industry. Number 2. The First American Revolution almost happened in 1689, decades before 1776. Colonists in Massachusetts, New York, and Maryland rebelled against British rule during the Glorious Revolution. Though they didn't achieve independence, these early uprisings set the stage for the revolution to come. Number 1. Benjamin Franklin's dangerous electricity experiment. Franklin's famous kite experiment could have killed him if lightning struck directly. Instead, he safely collected an electrical charge from the storm, helping to prove that lightning was electricity. That's it for today's countdown. If you love these hidden facts, make sure to subscribe for more mind-blowing history. See you next time. And that's just scratching the surface of colonial America's hidden secrets. Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. But wait, did you know Chicago has some of the eeriest, most jaw-dropping secrets in American history? From hidden tunnels to vanished neighborhoods, you won't believe what's lurking beneath the Windy City. Click here, point to screen to watch 20 eerie Chicago secrets you won't believe. See you there.